I think it's got something to do with the cat.
And we're going to do a couple of open micers and then we'll have a break. Something exciting that you can do during the break, if it's within your power and within your interest. Upstairs, Jason, who runs this place and is serving bar for us today, asked, I think 8, possibly 10 artists and friends of his, actors and writers, myself, as well, to describe for him their inner creative creature. And then he painted it.
Wow.
So upstairs today, the exhibition is open. You can go up and have a look at mine and some other artists, the renderings of what their inner creative creature looks like. And God knows he's fucking nailed mine. So during the break you can do that, and we're going to have a few readers and then we'll have a break. It's going to be a very easy breezy afternoon. Do please try to keep your poem short. Thank you, Vasilka. Very much nice to have you back again, and we have missed you this year, but we hope to see more of you in the future. We're going to have Richard for you now. He's over there, so Richard's going to come forward and you're going to applaud loudly.
Thank you. I'm not sure how this will go because I managed to leave my glasses at home, but anyway, we'll see.
Do you want to borrow some of those?
No, I don't think that's going to help.
Oh.
Okay, so this, I'm going to read a couple of pieces. This one's called Stone. It's Stone. It's worn smooth. The river it came from is in a different country. You're not sure how you came by it. Maybe a friend gave it to you. Maybe you found it one day while you were out walking with last night's dreams colliding silently in the white windowless room at the top of your spine. Yes, I know, she was much more than a friend. I remember everything, or most of it. The way she waved goodbye from the railway carriage as it glided out through the Milky Way. When she was out of sight at last, I turned away and started walking back home. A light rain fell in whispers. When I arrived, all the lights in the house were on. There was music and many overlapping voices coming from inside. I reached into my pocket for my keys, and then I remembered that I didn't have keys anymore. I'd moved away years ago. The rain started coming down harder. I'm getting soaked through, I think, as I wake with the darkness pressing down on me. I reach out to where the stone waits on the bedside table. It's wet with tears that run away like quicksilver as soon as they're touched. And the next one's in slightly smaller print, but anyway, I'll do my best. I have to hold it out here. It's called Riding with Gerald Murnane. When I got into the back of the cloud-coloured taxi cab outside the railway hotel, I was surprised to find that the driver was Gerald Murnane, the Australian writer who's sometimes mentioned in the media as being a possible contender for the Nobel Prize for Literature. He looked at me in the rear-view mirror and lifted one eyebrow. Are you right? People tell me I have very flat effect. I don't mind. The nothing that comes in through my ears and eyes is exactly equal to the nothing that goes out through my mouth. It's a satisfactory situation for all concerned. Yes, I'm right, I said. Then let's go, said Gerald Murnane. He accelerated into the late afternoon light, which began to blur as we entered it. We have to go back, I said, as we were passing the unfinished children's hospital. I'm afraid that somebody's missing. Gerald Murnane immediately swung the wheel and the car turned onto a wide boulevard that was strewn with different shaped traffic islands, around which he began to navigate in a sequence of intricate patterns. Sometimes circumstances require us to go the long way around, he said, just before driving through the wire mesh fence surrounding a building site. The car dropped 75 metres into the foundations of what was going to be the new regional headquarters of the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. After a while, the dust began to settle. A blackbird landed on a steel reinforcing strut poking out of a block of concrete and peered into the car. Cocking its head, it looked first at Gerald Murnane, then at me, then back at Gerald Murnane. "Are you right?" asked the possible contender for the Nobel Prize for Literature. It was then that I realised that all of the different machines inside my body had stopped doing their important jobs of pumping and draining and sorting and classifying many years before, and one by one gone dark and fallen silent. But I carried on walking and talking and buying cups of coffee and making plans for the day after tomorrow anyway. "Yes, I'm right," I said. Gerald Murnane looked out through the windshield into the dust and the light and the utter ruination of everything. Then he stamped down hard on the accelerator and drove straight through the back wall of my dream without saying another word.
Absolutely perfect, absolutely delightful, Richard, absolute delight. Thank you so much for doing that. We're going to have one more before we have